Okie dokie.
So,
Trying something a
right.
little different.
Are you going? Welcome to our new room.
Yeah, we got some upgrades
Yeah,
and some new
and
bugs to deal with, but that's cool. All right, so while you're getting set up, I'll just
yeah,
go for a walk
and
around. Maybe sit on the couch.
oh, that's a good point actually, because
What?
I don't know, for the recording we're using fluid. Fluid guys,
Well, it's okay
good
because there's like a
almost.
big ass logo on the wall here, so I think anyone who's watching will get it.
Yeah,
Didn't you have a
but
job
it
to do? You were
was
doing
quite
something.
painful to actually.
We're actually waiting on you. We don't need you also narrating the scene tour or the house.
No. I'm done.
Oh, you ready? Oh,
I'm waiting on him
sorry.
coming
I
back
walked off.
to
Oh, so I
talk about
just like
this.
wandered
Yeah, I'm
off
all
down the
set.
stairs. Yeah, okay, my bad. Okay,
Yeah,
let's go. Hit me.
yeah, you're just like
Moving
going
on.
around the furniture.
Moving on.
Okay, so right, I'm actually pretty much close to solving most of these. But my main question is, how do I properly format naps so that I don't get kicked out? Now, I think this is the one that kicked me out. It said, right, this might not be one. Files, Dave, create file, test file. Okay, so test MD is this. Oh, this is nice.
It's nice, right?
Oh, quite nice.
It's nice.
Oh, yeah. It's a hell of a lot better than.
And you know how many times I've wanted to click that button while you've been browsing?
You're fucking with my.
Dude, I gave you more space. Are you
messing with
complaining?
my.
Do you want to lose some pixels? I mean, no. Well, I just
I'm
helped
just
you.
saying personal cursor space.
It's a shared computer.
Okay, so
it's a shared computer.
I know, that's pretty cool actually, if you think about it.
This is so much better. This is like a billion times better than our. I will trade the scenery for the functionality anytime. This is awesome.
Oh yeah, nice lighting, etc. But who cares? Right. Okay. What I'm doing with the. Oh wow! Oh, that's nice. I don't need to click on that to scroll. Okay. So what I'm doing on this one is, my intention is to give a scenario in natural language, messy and messed up, and maybe even a phone recording. But at the start, just me saying something like, "Oh, we're talking about Hammer here, by the way." Something like, "Create a customer, John Doe, whose address is at this point." Then I want that scenario to be turned into a well-formatted and correct and complete test, and then get the test runner to run it. And happy days, because the test itself has been verified as a valid test based on the assumption that my scenario is right.
It sounds like an awful lot of stuff. Can I just browse through this a bit?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. But it almost worked on this tab here. Almost worked.
What are you trying to do exactly? Sorry.
Create tests for Hammer.
But it sounds like you're trying to do it in an awfully big lump.
No, what I want to do is take you're using lots of power for longer playtime. Consider enabling something. Okay, I just should probably plug in.
Playing too hard, eh? Playing too hard.
You're using an awfully lot of power. What does that even mean?
That means that this app is far from optimized to give us these features. That's what that means.
That means your head's going to get warm pretty.
And to be fair, probably a lot of that is the artifact code running in the browser.
Oh yeah, because it's
it's running on your headset, right? Like all my bad coding, and I was like, they can pay for the CPU. Turns out when it's in a headset, that's yeah.
Okay, so I can't. I haven't got my desktop to share, so I'll just describe. So what I've got is what was previously called Test Gen. There it is. There, just one down. Which takes an ERD and looks at all the possible paths. And you remember, it's a while back, I was saying just do one-to-one, entity-to-entity tests. What can one entity reasonably say to another entity given the definition? Generate me a test. And then when it goes to test file runner, it generates all sorts of iterations of that. And then we get the result. And that works. That works nice. Now, what's the problem with that is if you've made if there's a mistake in the ERD, all you're doing is testing whether that mistake is correct. You're not testing against the real world.
Right, but that's fine.
So,
like that's an ancient problem.
Yeah. However, so this morning, because yesterday was a complete wipeout with power outs and all that sort of thing, I couldn't get access to anything other than my phone. So I thought, well, what can I do with that?
A good developer would have made it from
so, but my laptop ran out of battery. There was like nothing.
Only hearing excuses.
And it's on about 25% charge. Yeah, no, it's not excuses. Explanations are not excuses. This might be superfluous or might be something for later, but it's worth talking about because I came up with there's some friction in doing this.
Yeah, what's the problem?
So let me well, they're not problems. It's just probably
if you're talking about it,
right?
It's a problem. Tell me what's going on?
Right. Okay, so let me forgive me. I'm just okay. So here I did router run router tests. I think that's all fine. So I don't know why I copied that over. Okay, on this one.
There's hang on, wait, stop.
Hammer.
Stop. There's an ongoing problem that I haven't made it. You can't run tests twice. Like you kind of need a new thread before you do it. Like look at this thing here. It's stalled because what's happened is if we scroll down, man, I love this interface more than my own computer.
It's nice, isn't it?
It's so good.
Am I just burning tokens right now? Because this has been running for like an hour.
Nah, I think it got stalled on
burning tokens.
No, I think it's stalled on
okay,
like it crashed or something. Let me just take
we are actually This is happening quite well. Look what we're doing.
I know you're being annoying. Stop we've
got 2 pointers. I'm just like geeking out on having 2 pointers.
It is actually, yeah. Really for the longest time, I always was like, who would ever need 2 pointers? And then now I get it. This is why a computer needs 2 pointers. This must have been quite an engineering feat. Because the whole world is built for not 2 pointers.
But exactly, it's one person, one thing, one click, which is very serial. Okay, so this was just a straight run of. I didn't change anything, as you can see. I just did, run.
So what happens? The reason why there's an issue with this is because of this data structure that I made. In that I wasn't planning because when you finished the first set of tests up here, it didn't delete the branches that it ran on, and so when you try to run the next test, it uses the same branch names, which causes a collision. And because
all right, so it's no problem.
So I got to fix it, but that's why that happens, and then you end up with like a stall here.
Yeah, no.
This is a UI bug because it doesn't give you a stop right now. In what you can do is you can go in here and you can insert something like, I'm sorry, Hal, I can't do that. Oh, did that even work? Where's my mic?
Oh,
Why don't I
please
have
let it work.
multimedia
Please
access?
let it work.
This is not good enough. I want a microphone
No,
in
no,
my
no. It
shared
worked for me. It
immersive.
just worked for me. No, I think no. I think it worked for me.
You think it worked?
Because like you can do it on Google. It's like, yeah,
Hello. Your
hello
voice
Google.
search has been
Oh,
turned
voice
off.
search has been turned off.
Did you lose that
Why?
ability? Did you? you
Huh? It was just working.
oh. Was it
Oh
working
god
in the
damn it!
shared window?
It was working.
In the shared window?
Ah, no, it was
Not in the
working on my
shared
private
window.
window.
Oh god, this is
All
so
right. Okay.
close.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
It's oh, you can only have 5 tabs as well. Wow. Limited. Still, seeing the
Well.
positive side here.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
Positive side,
You're
positive side. What
talking
else
to
have
the
we
guy
got?
who's got about like 60 tabs up
Yeah, this will
at
teach
the
you, eh?
moment.
Like
But
your
anyway,
entire
okay.
world will fall apart, and then you'll be like, "Eh." A little tip I learned.
No, these guys are going to sort it out.
A little tip I learned, which is actually bad, is that if you get a stuck thread, what you can do is open it, click on that blue button
Mhm.
to open it remotely, and then when you're in the remote tab, type in anything, and then it'll interrupt the thread. Let it go, buddy. It's not going to work.
All right. Okay. Fair enough.
But yeah, if you
Yeah.
can
Okay.
insert
All
if you
right.
can insert a
I'm
message in
keeping
here,
getting max tabs. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, if you can insert a message in
Yep.
there from remote, it will actually do the same thing as stop. It will cause your execution loop to break. So that's like a little tip until I can get that
Oh.
fixed.
Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah, that's cool. So it's a hack around. That's fine. But I'm going to close this because it's not very
Sure.
interesting because it's a known problem.
Okay, sure.
Yep. Boom. Okay. So did that close? One, two,
No,
three, four, five.
you
Didn't
got
close.
5.
It's the same one.
Yeah. Do you want me to close it?
Yeah, no, I'm trying to close it.
No, I did it.
Oh no.
It keeps coming
Why
back. It's
isn't
like a zombie.
it? Oh no, no. It was just taking its final time. Okay, so this right. So I wrote this. I took as the format Reasoner. Oh, by the way, Reasoner is really bloody good.
That's nice, eh?
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. That's some nice prompting there. Okay, your test generator and so on. So what I was trying to do is get a minimum thing. Now, my intent on this on my phone was to get an agent that took in a scenario being natural language of anything, to have the agent understand the target. And this is worth talking about actually. This first thing, read the contents of the file. Can you see my pointer?
Yes, I can see it. It's great.
It's a pointer.
Yeah. I can see it. 100%.
And understand the format test. So I'm not telling it the test. I don't need to inherit the test. I'm saying this is the thing that's going to be running the tests. Go to that and understand what the test format should be. And that worked. That was beautiful.
Okay, so there's an issue.
Because
There's an issue there though that in this, I can't get over how good this is. I have never had a shared browser window experience in my life. This file
that's good. Yeah.
has that expanded links thing in it, and so when it reads the
Yep.
file, it will only be reading it directly. It won't be reading it with the expanded links in the bottom. Right? So like down here, this thing
Oh,
isn't
so
gonna be
that
expanded.
okay.
So what do you want to do
Well,
there?
it did a
Do
pretty good
you
job, but actually that explains
a lot, right?
something that happened weird further down. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
But it
So
did a
so
pretty
yeah,
good
but
job.
what do you
So
want to do though? Because
um
one of the ways I can change it is that when I can make it so that when you read a markdown file, you can also pass an option to expand all the links. And I don't like giving special options
Um,
around, but that might actually be a long-term useful thing, because it's like, well,
what? Why not expand by default? Why not? Because this
why not?
expansion is effectively okay. Cut and paste into this.
Right.
I mean
But
that would be brilliant.
yeah,
Why
but
not do that?
then because how do you delete it then? Like, the fact that it's a link keeps it live and means that you can change the test format file and it will update the next time that this file gets accessed. But if it's not a link, then it's dead.
Yeah, but we're talking about we're talking about a single session that is intended to generate some output, and if someone sends it changes anything in the background,
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
goes
So
back
all I'm
to the
yeah,
problem that we talked about previously.
sometimes an agent would want to read this file without the links expanded, and other times it might want to read it with the links expanded. And so being able to choose between the two is one option. The other option I can offer you is that I feel like these bots should know about links, and they should be able to choose whether they want to follow them or not. Like, you can guarantee that this bot understands the
Mm-hmm.
concept of a hyperlink, and if this was set up in the right
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
it could load this hyperlink if it felt like it might need it, as opposed to it getting it
There's a great
without any.
example, right? So what I'm telling this bot is read the contents of this file, test file,
Mm,
and understand the format. Here we go, test format.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, it could choose itself as saying, "Oh, I'm looking for a format. This format includes here's the format,
Yeah,
test
I
format."
think
I
that
mean,
part
how
of
much more
the
detail
we
do you
we
need? Yes.
well, obviously a bit more, but
Well, not you, but the bot. I mean,
yeah, the bot.
sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the bot needs a bit more, and so it feels like there's a little bit of knowledge about the fundamentals of the system that need to be included in the prompts, so that it knows that it can actually go and follow links and call that to expand it.
Mm-hmm.
So
How
it might
how
be as simple as just adding that extra piece of info to the files function, maybe.
it could be. It's almost like what in this one um uh example, what I'd expect is that I've asked it for a format.
Hmm.
It's gone to file runner. That's going to be the thing that it's going to be running on. I don't care what the format is, but what you want, I want this agent to do is to produce a file that is in the format that is going to be consumed by test file runner. I don't really care what it is, and so um, maybe a default expansion, and then if you're worried that someone's messing around with test format, you can give an option, say, don't expand, something like that. I don't know, but
Yeah, I think it's probably better that we're in a bit of a pickle at the moment, because we don't have any stable bots. And
yes,
yeah,
which is another issue I want to get onto as well, because the repo is getting
yeah,
really fucking messy,
yeah.
real fucking messy.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Do the messy bits usually start with the word Scott? Did you notice? Or or
Yeah,
what?
fuck you very much. Yeah, just randomly. I don't know why. I think that bot must have just decided to do that.
Yeah, bot named
Thing.
Scott. So
Yeah.
so the I think for now, for you to get the effect you want, uh, is it an acceptable workaround that you just pass that path in as, like, read these two files and do these two things?
Yeah, I could do that
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. And then, because what we
If you
got
go
to get
into
to,
test.m, if you go into test.md, and it's easy to prompt, and so that first, and we'll get on to the that latest drop. Although it's unsupported, is really interesting. The very first thing saying, you go down.
Sorry, what?
The process, process. So process. Oh, I can't remember what they called it in the OpenAI job or something.
Routines.
We routines. We've been
Routines
using
and
that
handoffs.
for like 3 months now.
Yeah, but it kind of
Um,
says that, like, if they can work internally for all their wisdom and come out with the same shit that we're doing, that's not, that just says that we have all gathered around the same junction point. We have all realized the same river needs to be crossed. And that
yeah. And
is not
did you
something that
notice
we
the?
should. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, no. I was about to remark on the convergence of naming, because did you notice that they've also got reasoner?
I know, right? That's funny. But
Yeah.
they called their bot triage instead of switchboard, and they were having the exact same problems and conclusions that we had, like pass back to triage, which was for us saying, go back to switchboard and all that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
what
Yeah.
what I'd like to actually say though is that the fact that we thought of the same things that they're doing is a
I know. It
reason.
means we're on the right track, right?
No, no, no.
No. No.
It means we are on the right track, but it means we need to fucking get out of the way because they're about to solve this problem and we don't want to be in the area. Like if we find ourselves, if we're fumbling around in the dark and then all of a sudden we look around and there's like Google over at one corner, OpenAI at the other, and then there's us, we need to be in a different part of the jungle, right?
Well, here's the we've had this discussion a couple of times, and it's worth revisiting. I still think that the unique part of this is the testing part.
Yeah, but that's
No,
not to say
nobody
that.
yet is talking about that
Yeah, but we
yet.
shouldn't. The th- the interesting characteristic of the AI race is that because it's a knowledge race, secrets don't have the value that they used to have. Like it doesn't our value must not be dependent on being first or being a secret or being something like that. So one of
Oh
the
yeah.
one of the great things I like about the napp format is that people are crying out for that because of the competition between models and between ways of doing things. And so if we focused on like how the fuck do I say this in a simple, in a nice way? Um
Well, this sounds bad.
no, I meant
Fine.
nice, like clean or
All right. Yeah.
so
Coherent.
yeah, you take Deno deploy, right? Deno
Yeah.
deploy and AWS and all those things, they're all like cloud platforms with varying degrees of cost, difficulty, stickiness, all these other features, right?
Yeah.
There's been like, if we can offer naps as a format that offers a superior packaging and bundling way that makes you independent of the software language you use, like Python, JavaScript, or Rust, and makes you
Yeah.
independent of the inference service that you choose to use, because
Yeah.
there's like, half a dozen good ones and even more rubbish ones. And then you might also want your own hardware. If we offered a platform that could run, because naps are basically a little container of serverless function, and it's the only format I know of that is a serverless native format for passing around a unit of a reusable component, a package that can be assembled together to do something useful. And because it's cloud native, it needs a cloud native running platform. And if we are offering that as a paid service, that's a really solid revenue stream just to be able to offer that convenience, let alone the extra features of, you can use it to improve the packages themselves with this, burstable, scalable testing and all that stuff. Like that's all
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
But the foundational offering I think we want to start with is a hosting platform for naps.
I agree with that. I agree with that. The one addition, which doesn't contradict anything you say, I hope, is what I was trying to do in this is assume that evidently the rate of doubling on the exponential curve at the moment, the rate of doubling is getting less. So we're in wild territory here. So my assumption is that the napp format should be something that's understood at the AI level. I shouldn't need to. I'll show you the bit of friction. It's a minor piece of friction. I shouldn't need to know the napp format because the napp format might change, but the AI that's doing it should know about the napp format. And one thing we do know about AIs is it's very good. If you tell it what the format is, it produces the format. It's done that since 3.5. So an example, I might need to go into the next one. No, that's something else. Okay, where are we? Give me just sex. Create file, test MD. No, that was the one that worked. Where's the one that did not work? Yeah, this is the one that didn't work. Okay,
It
so
didn't work, Captain.
all right. So I created the test.md, and the test.md, just bring it up. Oh God, I really love this room. Right. Okay. So there is, all I'm saying is here's config, blah, blah. And I'm saying I want to run a test against test file runner. I don't care about what test file runner needs. I just need you to produce something that test file runner can accept. Test file runner defines what it wants. And so read test file runner. And create the test in that format. Now, the benefit of that is this, you notice how small this prompt is.
Right.
That means that if test file runner was changed for whatever reason, the next run would not break this because it's saying, go to test file runner.
Yeah.
Find out what it wants.
Yeah. I just, because you've stacked probabilities here, like, you're not, this exercise is still a dream within a dream type of problem.
Well, no, but it almost worked. Let me show you the thing that worked. Okay.
All right.
I'll go to the one that worked. Okay.
Okay.
Because the dream within a dream is pretty close. Create file, test MD, blah blah blah. Here it is. Same thing. Well, actually, I fucked around with the napp header, but as per what we're saying, below that, this is prompting. I want to talk test, and it's like, hey, test. I've just created a test generator. Brilliant. Read the target. I want you to create hammer tests. I've read the contents of hammer. Brilliant. Okay, so now give me your shitty human thing. I'm a customer agent. I want to create a new customer called John Doe, appropriate address, and my expectation is that the customer is created in the system. That seems pretty reasonable, right?
That's cool. That's cool. Give me one more second. I just want to take that in.
Yeah.
This will serve as our target for generating test scenarios. Please provide a scenario. So here's your user story. I'm a customer agent. Okay, and then it did what? Reasoner. Oh, you used the reasoner for this.
Yeah. I told the test that reasoner existed, and if you couldn't understand it, go to reasoner. And reasoner did its magic. I don't know which model.
Hang on. What? Wait a minute. What did you do to this thing? What have you been doing? You
cool, isn't it?
just stop scrolling. Just put the fucking
okay.
Put the thing down. Like, why do you need to scroll it? test.md naps. Oh, so you called the reasoner as a nap.
Yeah.
Ah. That's funny.
Yeah, and
That's
then I told it
and then it
inside. Can I scroll on this
No,
bit?
no, you can't. It's just
No. Okay, stop it. Like,
just
uh,
right. Problems with the shared experience are arising early. So reasoner, it called it with the reasoning, the content. Okay. Oh, so it translated your query into ERD speak.
yep.
But then what did reasoner call? Reasoner would have switched to another entity, and it might have even called O1. And because we can't browse the commits properly, I can't trace that down for
Yep.
you.
I don't know. I don't know what it did.
Right, but it could, yeah. So it could have done whatever, and then,
Yep.
So I really need to make that browsable so we can see it.
And then it was quite rightly, it was saying, "You tell me what your test data is," and saying,
That actually
"Hey,
sounds
dude,
like a pretty
you're the
clever
AI."
thing to do. And
Yeah,
then you're
it's like
like, just make some
just whatever.
make it up.
Make some
Okay.
shit up. Yeah.
Make some shit up. Okay. And then it read the format. Yep. Okay. And it got the whole thing. Yep. But you can see
Yep.
here that, see, it didn't get expanded.
Right. That will explain the next part. So if you go a bit further down, it didn't create. It got really close, right? Because we're talking about scenarios. Again, down to definitions. I think we've got description in the format, and I've been talking about scenarios, so my bad. But prompt and expectations, it nailed.
So what's wrong with this file that it wrote?
The format of it is not what the test file runner would expect. It probably could deal with it. I never got
Yeah.
as far as trying to run it.
Did you not run?
but
Did you
it's
not try and run it?
No. That's when we got into the com.
Aye.
So the format is not quite right because it didn't expand the test format. I was saying go to test file
Right, but
runner,
so
ask it
here
what the format is.
the issue I have here is that, like, this prompt is so specialized that a human would never ask it. Was that your intention?
Yeah, just at this point. But my ultimate pony for Christmas intention is to take in, let's say, an interaction with a customer and a customer agent over a phone, transcribe it, and then get the customer agent afterwards saying that didn't go well. What I was expecting was the system to do this, and then it goes
The
to
customer
the test
agent,
file.
as in the human, or a bot?
Yes, the customer agent person, human talks to human over a phone.
Yeah.
We record it.
Yeah.
And the system doesn't do what it's meant to do, and so then there's add in an expectation, which this test.md should do. It will ask for an expectation,
So
and
the
then it will
chat,
create a
right?
whole
So
bunch of tests which are properly formatted, and then run it. Yeah.
So it
Basically, sorry, go on.
So it takes a scenario that the human reported was faulty, and then it tries to recreate the scenario and generate tests that exercise around the scenario. Is that right?
Right, exactly. Because then the test file runner expands that to saying, "Well, you fucked up this time with, Karen from, Gill's Head, and I'm going to generate 1,000 Karens. I'm going to run it against the ERD, and we're going to see what the test results are. Maybe you need to change the ERD. Maybe you try to do something." So it's the unexpected, if you're trying to use a system and it doesn't do what you want, previously you just go, fuck the system. But with this, what you can do
Yeah,
is
you can
I
sort of
tried to
kind of
do
fix
this,
it.
and
Yeah,
it's a
but
reasonable thing,
like
and
that
don't break
sounds like
anything else.
a doable thing, and I believe we can get there. However, the issue is that we don't have any stable bots to start from, and so you're going from unstable and stacking instability on top, which is
Yeah, man.
now.
I was doing this. I was literally doing this on my phone. So yeah, sorry about that. I didn't
Oh,
have
you did it
access
on your
to.
phone. You did this on your
Yeah,
phone,
yeah, I did.
even though the website is not mobile friendly. You managed to do it on your phone somehow.
Well, actually, moreover, I did it over voice. This was all created over voice.
Um,
Uh,
Wait,
I was just
on that crappy
I was
little
talking to it.
that thing that Apple made. That's amazing.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So I was talking to it, and
That's actually amazing. So
unfortunately,
all of this input that you've got here is all just
yep,
you talking in the middle of a power cut in
yep,
Scotland.
yep, with about 25% left on my phone, and
And an Apple phone too. And it
creating the. Now, what I didn't need to do because I was running out of power, I did need to do some copy and paste into notes, and then forward myself the notes, and the notes were the where we got to with the test.md. And then this morning it's like, okay, and you see here's
um
test.md. Let's try and use this thing.
that's pretty remarkable actually, now that you mention that in terms of usability.
Yeah, yeah. I was dead in the water, and all I had was 25% left, and no way to recharge anything. Everything had died. It was emotional. It was an emotional day yesterday.
Yeah, I'll bet. Wow. Okay,
But
that's cool.
I know it did. So I guess there's a couple of things, very practical things. I don't know that I know that I did not know the napp format well enough. Now, before the call, what I was doing, and I'd probably give a good result. I was going to put, I've scraped the artifact repo. I've just catted it and then put in the file headers and so on. And I was
Mm.
going to put it into Reasoner and then ask it to generate man files and tell me what the format was. Now, the
Yeah.
alternative was let's jump on VR.
I worry that the stuff you're doing is colliding with what I'm doing and not the most efficient building block that you could be producing for us. That's what I worry.
Oh, no, I totally agree with that. In terms of yesterday,
Oh, right.
yeah, I was
Okay.
totally making it up
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
cuff.
Because
Yeah.
but what is the most efficient building block? That's kind of the problem. Um, because what is that?
So let's go back to that. So number one, I would love some kind of a basic a kind of man file of right. Okay, so if you go into one of your take Reasoner, because Reasoner is probably the most sophisticated bot we've written yet,
Really?
or you've written.
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
it's the only bot I've written. I just slapped that together and then I just poked at it angrily when it did things I didn't like. So
No, man.
it's the concept I think that's good though, right?
Reasoner's HAL 4. Reasoner's HAL 4.
You can't just claim
I
it
know
like
it's
that. But yeah, it's the concept that's powerful, and I was
yeah.
hoping actually that you would clean it up and make it actually nice, but the
Well, I can do if you want. Absolutely.
please,
But
like I'm not
yeah,
attached to
yeah.
that. It's the architecture that it enables. Like that Reasoner was the first nap capable bot. That's what makes it cool, is that it can do naps.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Which is why when you look at test.md, I just copied that top format, and I got pushback initially. I haven't showed you the pushback, but it's like you're not properly formatted, and it's like, yeah, okay, I'll just ask Tom. But that format, then I managed to just hack into knowing what the Reasoner was as an app and what the test file runner was as an app. and saying, here's when to call it. And it went ahead and called it. And it's like, huh,
And
pretty
then it
good.
just worked. That's
And
that's amazing actually.
it just worked. And the only thing it fell down was the end format because it didn't expand the link. But
Yeah.
we've talked about that.
Yeah. We talked about that. That's really promising.
It's no man, hat off to you. Reasoner is like absolute ballser. Now sorry, I was about to take over the screen. I was wanting to
Oh,
show
go.
where
Yeah,
it got
go.
pushed
Sorry.
back on the format. Yeah.
Go. All yours.
So let's see, no, I might need to hunt and peck for this because I'll throw in some shade. Where was it? There you go. Right.
Okay. So you want me to look into this error for you?
Um, yeah. So this, I've not changed. So obviously this is another thread. So this is we're here. That is the napp format, and I just cut and pasted that and then deleted some stuff. And it said, yep, and like,
That's because stateboard
go to the
doesn't
file
work at
explorer.
all.
It's
I
like,
haven't. Yes, stateboard doesn't work. It's I don't have any excuses for why that doesn't work.
oh right, okay. Well, if it's an obvious thing, but I'm not calling stateboard
Well, you're not.
in
It's just
test.md.
it's the prompting of the files bot
Oh,
is
it's inheriting it from.
well
Right,
the
right.
files
Oh,
agent
okay. All
when
right.
it runs is told to be stateboard aware and to to show you to try and show things on the stateboard. And what's supposed to happen is obviously everything over here is supposed to reorganize and reshuffle and show you this file that's now in focus. That the stateboard is supposed to be
Yeah.
dancing all around the place when these bots decide it's time to show something new.
Right. Right. Okay. So, if that's a known problem, cool.
Yeah, it's just fucking
Because
it's annoying me that there's the number of known problems is growing, and it's kind of everything is becoming a known problem, and we're at this weird point where we've got the napp format. Okay, great. We're going to convert all these agents to be naps, and then also build out tooling to test naps as these units.
Yep.
But then there's like,
Yep.
no, I guess that's just work to be done, and then all these other side problems will
Because
just be
remember,
picked up.
yeah. Well, if it's any consolation, the number of unknown problems is probably growing faster. But hey, we'll get to that. But the
I don't think it
remember,
is, my
a couple
friend.
of weeks ago
I
saying,
I
okay,
refute that
yeah,
unsubstantiated claim. I think that the amount of
it is
unknown
completely
stuff,
without evidence. Yeah,
the amount of unknown stuff is disappearing fast. Right? Like if you
it
look at
is.
where
And
we were a year
now
ago and you
remember,
look at what we knew then versus now,
oh,
it's like we kind of know
do we have to?
we know the end now. Like we can see it.
Yeah, it's working, and even down to oh right, that's another topic. Remind me, but not for now. Is persistent storage in terms of we've got our lovely file explorer up here. I've successfully managed to prompt saying here's the file structure and here's the root and here's where you stick your information.
Right.
But I don't know whether that's the right thing to do or not. But that's not for now.
Yeah,
That's not
okay.
for now.
Okay.
But the
Yeah, so,
okay, so
in that
what
vein,
you're
though,
saying is this
one of
is
my concerns is that we need to somehow give bots some basic info on what the file system is to make them aware that they are in a POSIX file system. We may need to make them aware of Git. Like there's a minimum amount of information that every bot that needs to navigate the file system needs to know about it so that it is comfortable and confident.
isn't that files jobs?
No,
That's files.md jobs, isn't it?
no, it it might be the job of files to do that, but the bots still need to understand
Uh-huh.
that that's what files can do for them. You know what I mean? Like, the bots are in the napp format, we had a section for docs, right? Which is where the napp advertises what it can do.
Yeah,
The files napp needs to advertise what it can
yeah.
do, and then somehow these bots need to be aware that that's the thing that they're getting. And so it's almost like my worry is that we might have to provide a function to the bots that are running the naps to like dig more, almost like a man page browser
And
where
here's yeah. Yeah,
you know, like
yeah. No,
they
this
pick
is
up
great
they
because
get the essence of files
this is
and then they
the
can dig more and they're like, can this do more? And so they need to be prompted to know how to dig for information. And then you're like, well, do we prompt them to know about the file system, or do we prompt them to dig, or a bit of both? You know, that these are the kinds of unknown things we have
my
to process.
yeah, so my initial shitty gut reaction of that one is that the AI is going to be able to take in messy description of sort of a file sort of instruction, but then that needs to be transformed into actual artifact calls. But it doesn't. I don't think we need to advertise that. Uh, you could, do RM dash R star. Um, that that's to the bot to decide.
Mm,
So files is if you want to deal with files, files will tell you whether you can do that or not, or throw an error. It's just so it's in one place. You can ask to do it, sure, why not?
yeah, well, what I
It's
guess
like
my hope for the format of naps is that you can take the files nap and you can have a range of complex tool
yeah,
calls with complex arguments and things like that within it, but files knows all about those and it responds to a simplified range of instructions and handles all the complexities of the file system
yeah,
for
yeah,
you.
and files should be slightly pissy. Files should be the Karen, saying, uh, okay, I understand what you're trying to do, but
Well,
no,
yeah, files.
you
So
don't get to do that.
files is like a class
Or
of
if it's
nap.
not files, something else.
Files is a class of nap that's
Yeah,
set up for service level running. So it's not set up to be polite or anything like that. It's very machine like.
yeah, and we've still got to figure out how to translate GitHub based POSIX permissions in the same way as files. Maybe files does it, maybe it's something else. I don't know.
Well,
But
I
it's
mean,
like you've
either
identified
way,
yourself
it's
as
sort of
this, and
it's gonna kick an error anyway. So it's yeah. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right,
But
I hear you.
the
We'll
error
get
is
in.
then
We'll get
back.
into that.
I, yeah, yeah. It's for the bot to deal with the error. It's not for the bot to try and circumvent what files actually can do. Files should be as pissy as possible. You should just like say, yes, you can do that. No, you can't.
Mm,
And
right.
then it'll be for the agent that's asked for it to try and maybe, okay, so let me ask it in a different way. Did it say pretty please? If I say pretty
Pretty,
please, do I get pseudo?
pretty fucking please.
um,
So I guess another a way to
so
another way to what's the word for it? If I had a Kanban board with tasks on it, which I sort of do over there, but I can't fucking
mhm.
stick anything on it. One of the big items that needs solving is allowing one nap to probe another nap, as in read its pages, its manual, and dig, like do several
Yes,
dig calls, and for us
yes,
to understand whether that's possible, whether it needs a special kind of a format for the knowledge to be arranged in to make it diggable like that, whether it actually saves any time versus just loading the whole damn file into one big temporary context window and going, figure it out, boom, and then it comes back. Like these are the kinds of experiments that we need to run because the naps need to discover from one another.
Well, exactly, which is sorry, I assume my you're not allowed to click anymore is over, but when this one on test wrong file, wrong folder. This was really kind of quite magical on test, where
Yeah.
I said, read the contents of the file runner of this and understand the format. That's basically saying, talk to this other agent and ask it. In this case, I'm only asking about the
Oh,
format.
right.
I don't think
So
it would be that much
hey, that
more
would
to
no,
say,
no, no, that would solve that problem if the naps knew how to
yeah,
dig
exactly.
into each other, because you're like, here's a manual, there's going to be some links in there. When you see a link, you can ask more about it. Or when you see like not even topics, but we could arrange it by, sorry, not even links, we could arrange it by topics. And so you told this
Right
thing to go read that,
now the
but it should have been
yeah,
phrased as, I'm
and
sorry,
they
there's a lot of lag on the line here. I'll just try and
you know,
talk until I've finished, which I guess I always do.
and I'll try and
No, no,
shut
well,
up
you're not
until you
doing it.
finish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you're not doing it, are you? You're not doing it. No. So
Oh no! Oh, fucking hell,
instead
man!
of
You know
this
me.
being talking to a file, it should have been saying, "Can you go talk to this napp?" and treating the napp like an agent. And when it knows, you're like saying, hey, go talk to this guy about this thing and understand the format. That's the cue to use the bot to bot, the napp to napp data exchange is different to um the natural language interface for queries, because when you have two naps and you tell one nap to learn about the other nap, that needs to be not a natural language in and out. That needs to be using a predetermined set of tool calls that lets them rapidly browse each other's help files or manual pages so that it can ingest it quickly.
Ah, okay, all right.
Right? And so you're like,
So,
so it's like the Matrix.
looking
You're
over
like, go
at your
jack into the Matrix and
your
learn about
your
that
block.
thing.
Yeah. So what this is, I don't know if you remember one of the very first ones. We're going back months now. When we first jacked up to anything that actually ran, one of the first prompts that I put in is, "What can you do?"
Yep.
Now, essentially, that what can you do is what we're talking about, but with agent to agent, it's
Agent
like,
to agent, agent to
"Hey,
agent
Dave's asked me to do
discovery.
this. Um, can you do this?" And what we'd expect is, the agent is like, one agent's been asked to do something. All right, you're good at this. Can you do this? It's like, no, but I can do that. Which is exactly what happened here, right?
Yep.
Read in test file runner and look for the format. It couldn't find the format, but it inferred what was pretty damn close. It got
Yeah.
the naming wrong because I was talking about scenarios and so on, but it got damn close. It got
Goddamn
prompt and
close, yeah.
expectation based on on the definition of the test file runner. But that is really robust because what that means is, again, down to modularization, each agent essentially is being able to ask or answer questions about what its advertising its tools can do.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
hey, I can do that.
But
Or no, I can't.
well,
I can't do that. Ask it a different way. Go back to the user.
should that be
We're
through
we're,
the natural
we're really
language
close,
prompt,
man.
or should it be through like reading the files that came with it? Like, should you just get the
Oh,
one nap to go straight into the other nap?
and that's the whole. That's Yeah, that's that whole kind of gray area about how you go from undeterministic to deterministic, isn't it? I don't know. One of the things I was saying earlier in the call, uh, just to see, pull down the artifact repo. I've not run it yet, but I was going to see if I could get the system, long threat, to actually generate a whole bunch of capabilities based on, now we're talking about tools here. It's like what the capabilities of the tools, and if it could, I don't know because I've not run it yet. Then it's like, wow, that's great. We could regenerate that every time a tool changes, and then advertise those
Mm.
and make that available. And so if someone says, "Oh, I want to read the weather," or "I want to write a file," and so on, then the format remains, as it is. But it's like, if I've, as a user, created an agent with a napp, and the napp has natural language around it, and I'm getting pushback from this saying File Explorer, whatever. I know that's a known problem,
Mm.
but it's like, what do I do about that? It's like, well, here's the man pages. Here is a bot who, effectively explains where you've gone wrong. It's like, ah, okay, so you've asked for something that is not possible at all. It's like, please change the color of the sun. We're not going to be able to do that. Or, yeah, uh, you've asked for this thing, and you get a File Explorer thing. It's like, all right, here's the trace, and we know there's an agent that knows all about tools and artifact. There's also an agent that can read in what the capabilities of the agents are. Now, the question is, I guess, down to this perennial question is, where do we go from deterministic to undeterministic? It could be that we create a process that generates man pages and then can test those man pages against what. So the man page would be what is expressed. I can do this, and then that statement in the man page would have a correlating test, which would be into deterministic land. Possibly one way of
I'm
doing it.
starting to think that it might be
Another way of,
best to provide the interrogation ability of the system actually via natural language, and you simply provide snippets of man pages as reference data, as opposed to
yeah.
requiring the reader to understand the man page format. And so that means that a napp can be delivered with like a whopping great store of knowledge about how to call it. And it's if the information was stored purposefully chunkable in these like little nuggets of facts about the system and links to like form
Mhm.
trees of knowledge about certain topics, then that makes it a much more navigatable, a more LLM friendly way to for it to use the
It does, doesn't
information.
it?
Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah. It's almost like, I love my analogies, but it's almost like you're trying to build this engine, and it's like, this part is not fitting in. Uh, it's like, okay, so let's go to the man page. Now, it's like, where's the manual? At the moment, you Google the manual.
yeah,
But instead, how about having a librarian? And, you talk to a librarian saying, I've got this part, it's not really doing what it's meant to do.
yeah.
Librarian, go and tell me about what I need to do. And it's like, turn it 90 degrees. Shit, of course.
Right,
Boom.
but then
Right. In.
if you simply had
So,
the ability to navigate the network of experts, you could even find yourself at the point where you're like, I keep getting this tool error in Artifact. I need to talk to the tool expert who can sort of knows how to tell me what might be going wrong. So you can actually watch these agents
well, yeah,
walk around the
yeah,
library.
to yeah, that's a better name. I called it librarian, but tool expert is best. It's like the WTF.md. It's like, okay, what do I do next? I've just got a file explorer error. So,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
what do I do about that?
Right, and then you also don't want you
But
want each error to become part of a broader process that makes sure that the same error never happens again. So it needs to, at the very least, be logged somewhere, and then the machines need to try and fix it themselves, and then maybe a human comes in if too many tokens are being burnt with no process, no progress.
yeah, but remember the at the top there's a stack, there's a hierarchy here, and when I texted you earlier on, I was saying this is probably user error. You don't want to change the system for user error if you've got more than one user. You want to tell the user, that's what you've done, that's wrong, and I've
No,
already fixed it for you. Thank you very much.
you don't want to. Did you
Well,
just
that's
say you
interesting.
don't
That
want to
no,
fix?
I was
You don't.
expecting you
You don't
to.
want to. Yeah, yeah. You're saying you don't want to fix the system because there's a user error of a single instance, and I think that that's wrong.
No. The next part of it is expand that to 10,000 users who have different errors. Now, if we were to fix a system for each error, and each error is different and needed a different fix, we'd end up with 10,000 systems.
That's what we want, though,
So we need
because
to merge back in at some
no, we
point.
want 10,000 systems because there are some types of things that are fixed by making user preferences and setting them to a certain thing, and there are other things that are more system wide. So we actually want our system wins the more that we can make it exactly fit each user. So we shouldn't be trying to train the user. We should be trying to fix to do what the user wants. All we're doing is
Okay,
honoring
I
the
got it.
rules that
I
they
agree with
tell
that.
us
Yeah,
in
yeah,
English. And if we're not like,
yeah.
if those rules conflict, then we say to the user, you're like, look, you told me this one thing, but it means this other thing. And so everyone who's a reasonable person is going to be like, that's a good point. I actually meant option B, blah, blah, blah. The more we can have a system that is purposefully designed to give each user exactly what they want, no fuss, no bother, no complaints, no, you need to do it this way. It's like, no, I pay for you. You do it my way. We need to give that system to people.
Yeah, I agree. There also needs to be a limit, though. If I go to test file runner right now and say change the color of the moon, it's going to go.
No, man,
No,
you
no.
should let
I'm
them,
sorry.
and then when it
Let me
when
explain.
no,
Let me explain.
you should just do it. You should be trying your darndest to do it, and if it fails, it's like sorry.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason for us to.
Yeah. No. I agree with that, but it's the sorry. It's the explanation. It's like, hey,
Oh, we can give you
you're talking to
warnings.
test file runner. All I know is about running test files, and you said change the color of the moon. I was
Mm,
like, dude, I can't do that.
mm.
But also having naps being able to do that between themselves means it's almost self-correcting. So, for example, if I test.md here runs test file runner, passes a file to test file runner, and test file runner says, "Guy, that's in the wrong format." Sorry, you know that, right? It's like, all right, okay. So, what is the right format? Rewrite it and pass it again. You never know about it. It's in the background.
Right. That's right. That's right.
So,
The nap smoothed it
having
all over for you, right? Like you could be you I could
yeah,
decide that I want the word blue to be replaced with moon from here on in. And my set of naps
yeah,
should handle that for me and interact with the rest of the system where the rest of the system
exactly.
doesn't know that I'm insane, but in my world that's what's happening, right?
Exactly. And at some point, there's going to be a point where you ask for something completely unreasonable.
No,
Solve the
unreasonable's
test
fine.
file runner.
Unreasonable's fine. It's contradictory that's going to happen to you. Eventually, you'll ask for something contradictory, and that's where we're like, we can't do that because we're fighting against you. like that's the only time we'll hard stop and be like, you can't, you,
Oh,
you
that's a no, that's a very interesting point. No, I do agree, and I think that's going to be where we're going to spend most of the next 6 months trying to figure out, because they're self-contradictory, but also in a multi-user system that relies on some source of truth, like a CRM.
yeah. So
Um,
when you've
we
got
might have contradictions between
a
people.
no, but that's different, right? Like when it's just one user versus us, we should always bend to them as much as we can, except in the case of contradiction where we that's the only time we can't deliver for them. But in a shared system like the CRM, there is ultimately a hierarchy of a particular actor or group of actors that can lay down the law and say what, you can't call every customer
Yes,
Jim.
which is the limit.
Yeah,
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 yeah, it's limit. It's
yeah,
like a customer agent. You cannot give $1 million out to every customer.
yeah.
You just can't.
All right. So where
You can't change the color of the moon.
where are we heading? Like, how does the CRM fit
So
in this model?
what I'm thinking, what I'm thinking about the CRM at the moment is we've got a bunch of tests. I can generate tests out of your ass as much as you want, based on the ERD. We've already shown that, and then in the test runner and the assessor that can expand it as many tokens as you want. Um, Now, there's a couple actual practical functions that I need, which is the target. The target at the moment is an agent, but the system is the agent plus the data, which we've talked about before, which I've got to work around. So that's not a problem. That's just like the persistent data in that. If we can get that, then that's cool. The second thing is, I think already with what we've seen with TestMD, calling test file runner, etc. It can quite easily call on the knowledge of another unit napp. Now, um,
Yeah, but we didn't help it
advertising the
out that way.
capabilities of that.
Advertising and interrogating and discovering is a thing we need to do some experiments on to see where we get the best performance. But once we've got that beat,
Yeah.
that starts to look like jitters because you can have a bunch of naps go out and find each other and look for new ones and interrogate them and walk around and do these things. Notice shortcomings between each other when they're interrogating and put that in the stack of we need an agent or we need a nap that fills this gap, all those kinds of things.
Yeah. And exactly. And when one nap is we're talking to another nap, it might be I mean both are quite intelligent. And so if I say scenario and you say description, you'll probably work that out.
They'll probably work it
If
out, yeah.
I say I don't know, whatever, something else, wildly different. If I say blue and it says description and I mean blue, which is the same thing in my head, then it's like your payload sounds like a description. I'm just going to treat that as a description. You okay with that? Yeah, that's fine. Now, okay, so there's a couple things to decide here. The first one is on the on advertising features. Is that we take an agent and we create another agent that runs through and says, what are your advertised capabilities in NL? Or do we allow every agent to just ask it to do it on the fly?
I don't understand the distinction
Is there a
between those
man
two
page, or
questions.
are we just asking? Let me give you an analogy.
Sorry, there's a lot,
Johnny
there's
and
like a
Bob.
2-second lag here. So I think what
Bob,
you
you
said, the problem can,
do the accounts for me? And he's saying, no, I can't. Oh, sorry.
man, this is real bad.
Or no, the question is,
This is unusable. Let's how do we fix this? Do I come out and then come back in?
It's weird because I'm getting you 5.5s. You're getting me interrupted, which is weird. I think I've got a strong connection. Don't know. It's probably this room.
I think it's the app. The app is like it's lagged or something, or the audio is drifted. Shall I quit and then I'll come back in?
If you keep recording, I'll
I'll
quit
keep
as well.
recording.
Just
Yeah,
because.
I'll keep recording. You
Yep.
quit, come back in, and then we'll see if that fixes it. And if it doesn't, then I'll quit and come back in because I don't want to drop the recording if I can avoid it.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay.
We're out of sync somehow, and now I've got to figure out where the fuck is my exit. Oh, there is.
Are you still there?
Yo.
Hey, man.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I can hear you.
I've changed my environment again.
Yeah, I think you got to change back to.
It was tranquil, wasn't it?
Uh,
No, it was not tranquil.
Tranquil Grandeur is what it was called.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Tranquil
Yeah.
Grandeur.
Oh, buggeration. So close. I think I'm going to be staying so close to the end of my fucking days. I can hear you.
Yeah.
So we can keep chatting while we're
Okay.
doing it. But I'm not in the right room, so I'm going to try and
Tranquil
get in the
Grandeur
right room.
is what you need.
Where is it? What is it? Where are you? Come on. Press lots of buttons. This is not the same room. Come on, Fluid. Why don't I just put me back in the same room? I tried the same room and it's changed my environment. Now I can't get the environment button up. Where is that fucking environment button? I like what they're doing. But they're not there yet. So
has our lag been fixed before you go through all the hassle?
Well, I didn't have a lag before. You had a lag.
Oh yeah,
So
I don't think
how's my lag to you?
I think it's great.
Right. So it's drifted for some reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So we'll carry on then. What the hell? Where were we?
Well, I can't see you, and I'm in a completely different environment.
What's your environment look like?
Well, it's very pretty, but it's not the one we're in, and there's no screens up.
Yeah. What does it look like?
It looks like one of these like 70-year-old guys who's just like in the end of the zombie apocalypse and decide to make a
bunker.
wood cabin.
Yeah. So you're in the like the home space
Tranquil.
or the entry room. So you tried to click on Tranquil Grandeur and it didn't work, right?
Yes, correct.
So you need to find a way to click on something else and then click back to it. Because
I'm gonna try quit and come back in because it gave me a choice of rooms.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. All right, back in.
All right. I heard you. Hey.
It's a different environment entirely again. What's going on with these environments?
Try pick it. All you need to do is find out how you can pick it. Pick the Tranquil Grandeur.
Right. I found it. Okay, I've got Tranquil Grandeur and I've got Nuke.
Perfect.
And
Tranquil Grandeur.
Oh. Right. Sorry, guys. Sorry, flu guys. My bad. I've not gone up the stairs.
Is that all that this was this whole time?
That was all this time. Yeah.
Oh dear. You should be so sorry about that.
Je désolé. I assume I'll follow my sword if that is sufficient.
Fall on your VR controller.
Otherwise, we're gonna need to think of something else. I need to get that screen out of the way. Go away, screen.
Go away.
I'm trying to get up the white spots and fuck's sake, come on. Right, okay, screen gone. Oh, God, what's my range of this white spot stuff? Okay. Almost there. Sorry about this, man. Try and go up the stairs. Go up the stairs. Please go up the stairs. Please go up the stairs. Oh, this is taking too much skill.
Takes a lot, eh?
Which I don't. Yeah, I need to make these white dots bigger. I can't get up the fucking stairs. Okay, so another white dot. Let's try it from another position. Okay. Wait a second.
I like this tool. I like this tool a lot better than workrooms.
It is. If you can only get up the fucking stairs, I'll be happy. I'm gonna stand up and get up. Please let me up the stairs. Come on.
Like, I got stuff on the roof and that, you know? Like, it's actually, you can paint the whole place.
Right, I'm gonna have to move around here, I think. Physically, in real world. Ah! There you go. That was it.
Hey, there you go. Hey, buddy, I see you.
I was in the wrong
creeping
place
up
in
the
real
stairs.
world.
Creeping up the stairs.
Creepy, isn't it? There you go. Okay. Yeah, okay. That was emotional. Right. Okay, so yeah, fluid alike a lot, but obviously they've got some kind of drift thing, which is why they put early access right next to the logo.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're just like, yeah, come on, guys, we know the deal. We know the deal. It's fine. Okay.
All right. So what are we doing? Like, I'm still I getting just brilliant results out of the recording function that I built today. It's just a delight to use in terms of speed. So, tests that were taking 7 seconds are now 33 milliseconds.
Oh,
Right.
nice.
Life is getting good
Was that
again.
2 orders of magnitude, roughly?
Like,
Yeah.
things are getting fast, and that
Yeah.
means, but reliable as well. So I can, I should be able to speed up how I can deliver artifact features. Second of all, the
Yep.
napp format. I've thought about it and written a ton of notes about it. I think I
Yeah.
know how to do it, and I'm just trying to make a really simple little version for you to use.
Yeah. That was the main thing, the main barrier. And I found a workaround, which is basically remove stuff from the header, the napp format. But there's that known problem, which we talked about. Don't need to talk about again. But from that, pretty content that now I've got power back. I'll get back onto my previous test gen, which is like the hardcore no user input. Let's generate a whole bunch of synthetic data
Yeah, but
into
what?
test formats.
Yeah, but why not just make some actual handwritten tests first to get things
Oh
going?
no,
Like,
that's yeah. That's the process. So the process is you give an example test, and
no,
you say
no,
here's
no,
what.
no, 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 no,
No.
no. The whole One of the reasons I think we don't have reliable bots yet is because we're not focusing on just getting anything done reliably. I actually don't much care for auto generation of tests if we don't have even basic tests working. I don't see the point in having that auto
All right.
generation.
Can you throw up a screen and I just because again one of the points my bad. The repo is getting quite messy. Show me an exemplar of the test format, and then I can spend today just not talking to any bots, just doing what I
Yep.
think
So
Hammer should do.
can you see the shared? Have you got your shared browser up now?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Sorry,
Hey,
1 second.
when I point, so I'm pointing on the roof right now. Can you see my pointer on the roof?
No,
No. What about now?
no,
No. Oh, okay. All right,
no.
fine.
Yeah,
Fine.
I've also moved accidentally.
Do you want me to move? I can move to the other side of the table.
Doesn't matter. If you can throw up a screen.
I got to screen it up.
There's.
You have to do.
I need
Yeah,
to do
you
it.
got to do it. You.
Yeah.
Well, at
Other
least
asset. Where was it?
we fixed our lag problem. No, that's good.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll figure that one out. Where is
This
what
app,
button is it
this
to get the thing up? Yeah.
left-hand controller option button. You pull that up, and then you go into down the bottom left option, rooms, and then you click on shared computer, which is in the middle of the screen, pretty much.
There you go. All right. Well then, getting way too close to my personal space. That is absolutely fine. Yeah.
As crappy as it is, this environment and this tool
The, the,
wins,
their
absolutely
ideas are
wins,
the right place.
and it's
Yeah.
functional, and it runs. It
Yeah.
actually runs. It runs the Dreamcatcher. That's the crazy thing.
I know it's really cool.
Yeah,
And those guys were probably working through the night and so on. But I think this should be our hangout from now on.
yeah, I like it.
Because we'll get better and they'll get better. So
Yeah,
hey, right. So what was saying? So I'm going to be writing manual tests now.
yeah. And you want me to show you an
well,
exemplar of a
an
test?
exemplar.
So
Yep.
router is a good one. This test does not
Yeah.
pass. These tests don't pass. So
Well, interesting. doesn't pass for interesting reasons, but we'll go into
Yeah.
that later.
So
Well, we don't
making
need to go into it.
just making this pass, or if you cannot, then us learning why. That's what I need. Like, because getting this basic thing working first, we're not sure that this format is correct. There's issues with the runner that may need to be addressed. There's issues with the
Uh,
assessor. The assessor needs improving because, like I said, you're the prompting guy. I just wrote the assessor to just fucking prove a point and to work. You need to,
yep,
you
yep,
need to
yep.
fix the
Okay.
assessor and make that bit go good,
Right. So this whole thing, as far as the format, I think is good enough
right?
for now. So let's go to the assessor. Where are we in? We're in tests. Oh, we're fighting. We're doing.
I ain't touching it. It's all you.
Uh,
The errors are yours alone.
assessor. Where are you?
Down the very bottom, very bottom. There you go. Test assessor.
Test.
See how
There
like
he
I
is.
named
There we
everything
are.
starting with test just because I was trying to be helpful.
Yeah, but that's because you're just like old school, non. Why is that not?
What are you
That's my
doing?
pointer. Can you minimize that? I want to see the contents of it.
Yeah, I don't know why I
For some
can't.
reason. Uh,
Things aren't working as expected. Okay, I got it. I got it. I got it.
oh yeah.
There you go. There you go. Test assessor on screen.
Right. Okay. So right. I'm not as previously described. I'm not going to touch config. This is all it needs, right?
The assessor, yeah, that should be all it
Yeah.
needs.
Okay.
I mean, you can if you think it needs to do some file reading or something like that, fine. Like you to rephrase that, you're welcome to touch it any way you like. I'm sure you know how to do that.
This is the training part I mentioned in the text. I just want to make sure that I don't go down a rabbit hole and spend a few hours because I've fucked up something. Because
Right.
this is formal. This is a formal language up here,
It's
and this
structured,
is
yeah,
informal.
yeah, and
Yeah.
this was as good as I could do for you because it's interesting because this is I have to have some structured input to be able to run your stuff, but
Yep.
because we don't have the AI online at the point where this gets picked up, so that's why it has to be structured. But
No, that's cool. And actually, it's strangely reassuring.
right,
When
okay,
it's like, this is all you can do.
right,
And no matter what you say down here,
yeah. No matter what you
unless you
say, yeah,
piece
yeah,
it
yeah,
up here, you can
yeah,
do it. It's reassuring.
yeah.
Okay,
So
so
that's the
sorry, go ahead.
assessor. The assessor, I just guessed at it, dude. Like these bots, I just prompted them to just get my job done, and that was it. But
Yeah.
you also need to write an assessor test because there's nothing that tests the assessor to make sure that the assessor behaves correctly.
Yeah.
So
Now we're into
like
troubles all the way down there, aren't
Well,
we?
I don't think it needs to. It's fine because it's just simply the current version of the assessor is running tests against some other
Oh, you're
version of
right.
the assessor,
We
which might also be
yeah,
itself. There's absolutely
we,
nothing
we
wrong with that.
yeah, we proved that that path works about 3 calls ago.
Yeah.
Um,
The only one
when
the
I
one
put up
that
a bot
doesn't
and then
work,
said, read this.
the
Yeah.
path that doesn't work that
Yeah.
you got to watch out for is the file runner. Because the file runner, I need an extension to the test format to allow us to limit the number of calls that a bot can do. Because the file runner is able to do vast amounts of work, that doesn't actually prove that much. And so if you try and run the file
Mhm.
runner within the file runner, you can get this like very long loop that costs a lot of money and doesn't go anywhere.
Okay.
So just watch out for that one.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
testing the assessor with the
Yep.
assessor is perfectly fine. Like there's absolutely no
Yeah.
problem with that.
So how I would do that is I would pull up I would create a test on the test assessor. I would give it some kind of trivial stub, Then I would call up the test runner to call the test assessor to see if it does the right thing on the stub. Probably a better way of doing it, but that
That
seems
sounds
the
good
obvious one.
enough, man. Yeah, sounds good enough.
Okay, cool. Right, can you just give me the and this is the really bog standard training on this, because this is formal, this is informal. I can fuck around with that, but I don't want to, you know, get errors when you're asleep. And it's like, can't do that. So,
Yeah, you can
where's the
just
definitions of these things there?
what?
So config, that's the model, right?
Config is you can set model in here
Mm-hmm.
and change it between 4.0 and mini and all those things.
Yep.
Tool
Okay.
choice is an interesting one because it what just happened then?
Wasn't me.
I'm not sure about that. Tool choice
No,
simply
I
this is
did not press any. There's no buttons. No buttons pressed. So, okay. Well, let me see. Config. Is there a complete list of correct things that I could put in there? Where would I find that? I can hunt and peck in artifact in order to do that. I'm quite happy to do that.
that's a
But
reasonable
what does
thing
it
to
pull in?
ask. Where is that list? Well, there isn't one, I'm afraid. But you shouldn't need to change that though. Like, why
Okay.
would
All right.
the only
So,
thing you might need to change, the only thing that I can think of utility to change is the commands that you want to put into it.
right. So,
Is there some other
and
thing that you
this
want to
seems really
change?
obvious to me. Is like this is a command as defined as an isolate, and inside of
Yeah,
the isolate, there's a thing called OpenAI, and it does
yeah,
a thing
that's right.
which I can go to the code and like understand it.
That's right.
Same here. Okay, so the you're about to say something about the tool choice
Yeah,
required, or I
this is
assume
this
not
is
required.
this is no. When it's set to that, that's a very powerful
Mm-hmm.
option because what it's saying is that when you run this agent, it must call
Mm-hmm.
one of these two tools. There's no other option. There's no other thing for it to do.
Oh, otherwise it errors or
Well,
something,
no, it doesn't
I
error.
assume.
It will call one of these tools. It will not come back to you with plain text. It's running as a drone.
Okay,
That's what
what
that
happens
does.
if
Tool choice required
okay,
makes it
so
a
how
drone.
now give me an example of running assessment, say, inside of the text. So it's like, if this happens, run test case runner assessment. What's the format for
Uh,
that? Because that's the
yeah,
gray area
yeah,
between deterministic and undeterministic.
yeah. The mix, the bridge. I
Yeah,
think it was there.
here we go. Use the there. Is that right?
Well,
So
that
if I
tells it
just
that tells
state
it to
that,
use that tells it to use the OpenAI function to
yeah,
read in the thread. Um,
yep,
and then down the bottom there is like when you're done, call the assessment function with your assessment.
got it. Okay, so there's not much syntax around there other than being nice to the AI saying call the, and
Yeah,
then so long as that matches the string at the top,
yeah. But even
then happy
like
days. He he
The
knows what he's
AI
doing.
is so forgiving that even if the string doesn't match, it kind of most of the time guesses correctly.
Yeah, yeah, but that's we go back to testing on that one because it could, or maybe close, but no cigar. But once it gets to the command, it knows what it's going to get. Now, the
Hey, look at
commands.
this. This is funny.
Oh,
I was controlling this
so,
session. I was controlling this session here in another browser window
yeah.
while you were using it on the shared screen.
Oh, you could totally fuck with it, couldn't
Yeah.
you?
That's hilarious.
Okay, so the commands inside of each command,
Yeah.
I know from the isolates I've read, there's description on each of these. So
Yeah.
when I say call this, it's going to that description. And I think 2 calls ago we were talking about how to
Bring that into
move that
prompting
NL
land.
out somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's a kind of tier two thing. Um, but so I'm just assuming that when I say run test runner assessment, then if I look into artifact isolates inside of test case runner assessment, there's going to be a description, and that's what this bot's thinking that does. That's what it means by run. So
Yeah,
am
yeah,
I
man,
correct in that?
I'm so sorry that there isn't a way for you to see that easy. I see now that's a real pain in the ass. You can browse to it though. Do you want me to show you where to browse to it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Oh, by the
okay.
way, and this is the least hours we've had for at least a year, so I'm
It's getting a lot better, eh?
fucking happy.
I'm trying to click on
It's
something,
yeah, a
but
hell of a lot better.
I can't get down. Can you click on the Dreamcatcher Howl lozenge in the bottom left? Bottom left. The very bottom left.
Dreamcatcher, how
Bottom down,
lozenge.
down, 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 down one more. Yep, there. Hit it.
This one.
Yeah, hit it.
Uh, yeah.
Okay, sweet. So I'll take it from
Ah,
here.
right. Yeah. You told me that before. That goes straight to the thing.
So for you to
Whereas isolates
find
are in Architect, isn't it?
artifact with an I,
But we at some point need to agree on the spelling of artifact.
we did agree on the spelling of artifact. It was 2 calls ago that we
No, you
agreed on it.
agreed on it. You agreed by
That's
yourself.
well.
No, you
That's
agreed on
right.
yourself on the spelling of artifact.
So under isolates,
But luckily, we're dealing in natural language.
yeah, I guess that's an example of where like the napp layer
So
would
take us
allow you
into
to
the
see it as artifact.
sorry. Yeah, and more importantly, that whole advertising thing, saying a NAP can say, "Hey, I've got access to test file runner assessment. I can't change the color of the moon. Sorry, dude. Go somewhere else."
Okay, so under isolates,
It's kind of
what you would look at is
so.
you would say this is the isolate name. So we'll look for the isolate called test case runner. Come in here, test case runner. Okay,
And then
and
inside of
then
that, there'd be
inside of
assessment,
that,
I assume.
we look for the variable name parameters. This is the key thing. That thing
Oh,
is that
all right. Okay.
object is always the thing that lists all of the function calls um, that the thing can do. And so here we look for the function name that's being referred to. We see the OpenAI one there, which is referred to in the test, and also assessment. Assessment links to this schema called outcome. Outcome is to be found. I think that was imported. God, I can see why this is hard. I'm really sorry.
That's all right.
Artifacts.
All right.
So then I navigate to artifact
I've been
API
guessing.
TPS format. I will fix this for you tomorrow. That's how bad this problem is. I will fix this for you tomorrow.
Well,
TPS
if it's any consolation, my
outcome.
guesses have
There you go.
been roughly right because your naming is pretty sensible. So I've managed to guess it by hunting and pecking.
Right. Okay.
It just
So
takes a bit of time.
yeah. Yeah.
So
And then that's how you find
so
that.
assessment passes outcome, and outcome now we've got a number of outcomes. No, we've got one outcome there, which is the outcome of the test iteration.
Mhm.
True if the expected was met, false if it's not. Very, very simple. Okay, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so and
Yeah.
what
Um,
tomorrow I'll figure out how to do for you is how to extract this text, which is actually prompt text from out of here, out of Artifact and into hell, into Napland, because that's where it jolly well belongs. And then you can not only see it, but you can modify it and you can twiddle with it any way you like.
yeah, and yeah, I can also branch it and sandbox it,
Yeah.
if you extract it and say, oh, it's not a chain of thought, it's a chain of guesses,
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
and
right, and
then
we
run.
can twiddle with all that. We can actually
Yeah,
include we could include that as once we get advanced enough to have O1 propose how we might change the prompting to achieve a higher score in a test run, then O1 would even be able
mm.
to modify the description of the function to make it clearer and keep the description, the default base description of the function up to date when the code within it changes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's meta level, isn't it?
Mm,
That'd be really cool.
mm.
Hmm.
So I got some cool stuff coming for us
Okay.
actually. Like I can see pretty clearly now how to actually do our coding in the browser, because if you take a look at the file structure of the isolates, they're actually really quite they're very very simple, because they're largely single file things, and they none of them ever
Yeah.
do very much, right? And it was sort of by design. Like all of the stuff that we've ever done in AI land that uses isolates, the isolates are just like 1 or 2 pages each. Like they're really small. And so
Well,
being
this,
able to work
yeah,
on an individual
yeah,
file like this, we can actually do that on platform and then execute it, so that we can get O1 to modify it, and then we run some basic code validation tests on it and feed that back and around, and then now we're sort of, doing the coding.
yeah. Well, the interesting thing is, because, well, frankly, I am frightened of Artifact, and I do not tread on your repo ever. I do read it, but I never tread on it. Um, Everything I do is through Longthread, and I can get quite far with Longthread. Longthread
Mm,
knows quite a lot, but it's not self-aware enough to tell me, this
yeah,
error means that, um, which is what we're just talking about. But if we extract this, the description of it, and saying, okay, so um, this is your problem, or even better, it's a stuck. This is our problem.
right, right.
Um,
Yeah.
then we can get somewhere.
The point at
Um,
which it becomes our
but
problem.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm getting quite far with just only using long threads and nothing
right,
else.
right,
Not going to platform, not going to anything else.
right.
Oops, sorry, that was a mistake. Didn't mean to. Yeah, oh, well,
Whoops.
sorry.
Yeah,
I was
like
reaching
I
for my
guess
umbrella.
I think the next barrier or the next boundary to push through for us is to get this NAP format tamped down, and then we can actually begin the production of naps, because that's really what we've been fumbling around trying to do, is produce
Yeah,
stable agents. But really it's like, if we can produce them as naps, then I think we're off. I really do.
that's right. And it's interesting that, for example, I could put Reasoner in there, and Reasoner was called.
Mm. Yeah, I know.
Uh,
That was
not entirely sure
unexpected.
what was happening, but I don't know what was happening beneath the hood there. But it's like,
Well,
there's a button here.
yeah.
What happens if I press the button? It's like, oh, what the hell? It did something.
Mm. Yeah, that's
Um,
pretty good actually.
but yeah, it was remarkable actually. Although it took 3 or 4 tries of it, can't do that. But that's what we've been talking about in terms of just exposing what the why the newt was given.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can do that. Then because you're talking to an intelligent agent, and the reason I'm spending all my time in long threat now and I haven't touched platform for so long
Mm,
is frankly because of the ability uh, to write an agent and then call an agent. So um, it could be cleaned up a bit. I create an agent, so for example, on test.md,
mm-hmm.
worked inside the long thread. Let's create it. Okay, files, write it to agents, and then I go to info agents list, add it to agents list, then boom, test. And there I am. It's like really quite cool.
Hmm.
That's something platform simply doesn't even try to do.
Yeah.
The other thing is the folder structure, which files should be able to do, but
Yeah.
also proven previously that you give it a file structure
Yeah,
and
but
that's
so
a root.
again, that's sort of something that I push onto you is that the we don't have tests for the files agent, and so that's these tests of these basic agents are really what I would dearly love from you, because we can then understand what the
Oh, right.
shortcomings are
Interesting.
because at the moment we're not sure if a lot of what we're assuming is good enough. We don't know that it's good enough because
Yeah.
we haven't actually
Well,
finished off those agents.
you're quite right. The files agent is actually uh, the uh, the most reliable of the system at the moment. The file agent just does what you tell it to do.
Yeah.
Um, the When you go to switchboard, not so much. Router, yeah, mostly. Although
Mm.
router did do something wrong
Yes, but
earlier
these are
on
the things
today
that need
when
testing, right? Like if you can get those things tested up and fix those prompts, make those prompts good, then our overall daily system experience will already be quite good. And what's more, that work is never wasted because the tests and the agent file carry directly into the naps.
yeah, yeah. So okay, so I've got a very although I've not written it down, I'll just start hammer tests. Yeah, I can produce those coming out my arse. Router seems to work and fails in interesting ways. I've not gone back to router to change the prompt in order to get it to pass all the assessments. The thing it was failing on might still have it up actually. Um, and bear with me if it's not up because it's not that wildly interesting. Why are you not? Why is it not changing? It's not changing. I'm looking to tab. Oh, it's just max tabs 5 reached. That's another one. I think it was one of the earlier ones. Oh, there's a lag. That's what it is. This is the problem I had. Remember when I was running the census? Um, what we didn't figure on and only got when we did real live testing is when something gets slow, people do more clicks.
Mm,
Not very helpful.
mm.
So if there's a lag, then people's behavior actually changes. Not sure this is worth the reload.
What I think is sort of
There it
worth.
is. Right, there it is.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
there's exactly. So actually, no, this one here. Right, I asked for test.
Yeah.
Test exists.
Yeah.
Just me on that one. So test and agent inside
No,
of
yeah,
info
but
knows about
no,
test.
but it's
And
not.
yeah, here's the interesting thing.
Yeah, because
so what that means is that just yeah, the description inside of well, the way I read that, I'm only saying this first so that it can be knocked down. But the way I was reading that is the description under info was too ambiguous. When I said stroke test, it wasn't just doing look for test .md in agents. It was saying what you're trying to do, and it switched to instead test file runner. I eventually got it, but that description at the bottom. So test file runner, there's more information. Go right down to the bottom. Really quite poor information, and I thought, with your thread, you say stroke test. It's not a hard command. It's still interpreting that as saying stroke test.
Yeah.
Let's have a look
Yeah,
at
yeah, yeah. So this is the thing, right? Like if you fix
like,
this, if you fix
you
this
probably want to push
prompting,
around.
like it,
Interesting enough, if I put the full path in, it was like, okay, I get you.
yeah. So
It's a small one,
I tell you, man, you need to
but
fix this prompting because we all use these basic tools all day and they're broken. They're not tested. The prompts aren't good. The tests aren't running. In fact, I don't even care if you fix them by
you're
making
breaking up
tests.
again.
All I care about is if
Oh,
they get.
you're breaking up a lot.
Am I?
Yep, still breaking up.
That might be you.
30 seconds. You're still breaking up.
You seem fine to me.
Oh, sorry, man. You broke up on the you broke up. You broke up on the audio there for about 30 seconds. Sorry. Whatever you said over the last 30 seconds, I didn't get. Sorry.
Okay, can you hear me
You
now?
broke up on the connection. Yes, I can. Yeah.
All right, cool. So what I'm saying is that I think you really need to fix these basic bots for us because we all use them every day, and I don't even really care that they get fixed by having tests against them. That would be really nice. But even just fixing the prompts for you to manually tune these things so that
Yeah.
all
Okay.
of us have a generally better experience, this, I mean, you you're telling me about a fault in the router, and then you're like, "Oh, look at this fault." I'm like, "Well, fix it." Like, what are you fucking? Who else is gonna fix
Yeah.
it,
No,
right?
forward.
Like,
And
not
that's
me.
yeah.
I got
Okay.
other
So
shit.
my priority list, I think, is using as is test file runner, as is test assessor to test router.
To test the
Uh,
router and to test the assessor and
yeah,
to test
yeah,
files. Basically, get us our basic
exactly.
system.
Now, router is our bootstrap target. Now, by running tests against router, which is really quite simplistic,
Mm.
and I'll keep it simplistic, I will not be changing router necessarily. I'll be looking at test file runner. I think test file runner does a pretty good job. But then writing tests to run against test file runner, and then
If you no, that'll break.
against
Running
test
tests,
assessor.
testing the test file runner will not go well. So I'd recommend not trying to test that.
Oh, well, why is that? Why?
If you try to run the test file runner, there's currently no way to specify in the test format that I don't want to run this thing until exhaustion. And so when you try to run the test file runner to exhaustion, it generates a very large amount of data. And
Gotcha.
so you can't
Yeah,
control it
gotcha,
well.
gotcha.
Whereas
All
things like
right, so I'll leave test file
router is
runner
a very
alone.
much leave test file runner alone, but you can test the assessor, the router, um, anything else really,
So
just to get
router
the
will be
basic
our
system going.
router will be our patient zero.
Yep.
And in order to get that, it's the assessor and the tests for router that I'll look at. I'll
Yeah.
leave test file runner alone.
Yeah.
I've actually got a bunch of stuff here that I can actually apply to this
Like,
pretty quickly.
yeah, like you can
Um,
absolutely you can manually update the test file runner. I'm just saying that using the test file runner on the test file runner will not go well.
yeah,
That's
okay,
all.
right. I hear you. Okay. So I can manually do it, but I will be the test
Yeah,
runner and assessor if
yeah,
I ever change test file runner.
yeah,
Okay.
correct. Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
There's got there's got to be somewhere that the turtles are standing.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Yeah.
in my priority list,
Happy with
I
that.
will get the napp format up ASAP, like tomorrow. And that will
Yeah.
include the ability for you to see at the very least and modify the tool call parameters. And at the same time, I will carry on with the transitioning to this recording format for tests, which is actually pretty easy now that I built the actual recorder thing. Um,
So say that last part again.
I will carry on
I'm not
with
sure I got your drift.
the mocking the API calls out to OpenAI so that they run really quickly. I haven't
Ah,
finished
right. Yeah. Yeah.
implementing
Okay.
that throughout
Understand.
the code base, so I'll get that up. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
if I can get
Yeah.
you that
Yeah.
napp format, then I can get on to doing a little bit of tuning because this thing's running kind of slow. Um, like it just feels sluggish. So, but look, you can tell me that I should be working on other stuff, but that's what I got in the hopper at the moment.
Well, in my hopper, I'm probably just going to ape that test format, saying, that's the test format, real simple. It's not going to use the whole capabilities that are already written. I'll just keep within that, and that should be able to do what I need to do for the next 24 hours
Okay,
without
sweet.
problem. And then exposing the capabilities that we're talking about would be very helpful. Even just exposing it in a way that could be an explanation of the NAP format in full. What are the commands available? What do they do? As opposed to having to hunt and peck.
Mm,
That sounds like something a bot can do. Um, I might do that this evening, just over some popcorn, because it sounds really quite simple. Um, and and then we'll take it from there. And the hammer thing, once we get through this first initial mud, the hammer thing I think is going to be able to be expressed very very quickly in tests, and not only that, in scenarios, as in, hey, I'm a
right.
customer agent, I've got this call, blah 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 blah, blah etc.
Mm,
And here comes a test, and then you run the test. It's like, does it pass? Well, then it's like, well, why doesn't it pass? Or does it pass? So I think that'll be really fast. And at that point, what we'll be able to do is to actually record people how they use it and put that in as a scenario. Do a bit more prompting on what the format is, and then get tests out of real people doing real stuff where it did something wrong. And then we can talk about what happens if there are logical inconsistencies where one person thinks it should do one thing, another does another thing, and they're actually incompatible. But we can leave that for now. Um, yeah, it's cool.
yep.
I think I don't know. We seem to be generating about 3 or 4 PhDs a month at the moment.
I
If we
would
could be
not
bothered to write anything down.
not be so arrogant, my friend. Keep in mind the rest of the world is
That's not
also
arrogant. Never.
being
Yeah, but
enhanced in the same way.
well, this is true. This is true. It's a good point, well made. No, the whole point with that is new and novel ideas is a mile away. Well, actually, roughly 3 years of pain away from getting actually a PhD. Yeah, who cares about PhDs anyway? It's like, I'm going to spend 3 years doing that. Just do it.
All right.
Anyway, right. All good from this side.
Sweet. I'll let you know when I got progress throughout the next working day.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, nothing else happening. I've got a clean route all the way through today, so looking forward to progress.
Sounds good, buddy.
Yeah, they shift patterns in such a way that actually nobody's going to be bothering my arse.
Nice.
For, well,